Hey, what's up? It's Emilio Despirito, and this is the Wealth Architect Podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you each and every single week. My team and I have hand-selected our guests to come on the program to talk about how to build wealth financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, right? There's so much that goes into building a lifestyle full of wealth, and we hope that this content really reaches you, not only in your brain, but in your heart, and that you could do something with this. So thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you, and we're going to have a great show. Hey, a special thank you to our sponsor, Annie Mac Home Mortgage, whose Cash to Keys product is disrupting the industry. Sick and tired of finding the perfect home, not having your offer selected? I got to tell you, it happens all the time. With Cash to Keys, Annie Mac gives sellers a cash guarantee for each of their buyers' offers. Stop bidding and hoping. Instead, bid with Annie Mac and bid with confidence. Don't just bid, but win. Annie Mac Mortgage. Do you currently own an abundance of multifamily properties? Are you tired of working with property management companies that just continue to drop the ball and disappoint you? Why don't you start your own franchise? Go ahead and contact our friends at Nexus Property Management to see how their proprietary information and systems and marketing can work for you. The success that they have had all over the country is unbelievable. Check them out, Nexus Property Management, and go ahead and let them know you heard it here on The Wealth Architect. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Emilio Despirito. This is the Wealth Architect Podcast, where we're here to talk about how not to only grow financially, but to grow your wealth mentally, physically, and spiritually as well. Each week, we're bringing on guests, very hard-hitting guests in their different industries, and we're teaching you how to level up in all areas of your life. I'm excited for this episode. This is season 3, episode number 3, and I'm very excited for this guest right here. I've been following her on YouTube for 10 years. When she first started, she amassed over almost 100,000 followers and subscribers on there, and about 35,000 or so on Instagram. So she's blowing up everywhere, and it's because her message always has some really great takeaways. So even if you are not in real estate, because she primarily does real estate coaching, if you're an entrepreneur, if you own a business, sales is where it's at. And she has a lot of really great insights to share. So I'm proud to present Loida Velasquez with us today here on The Wealth Architect. Loida, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate, reaching out, getting connected, and I'm really excited, about everything that we'll be talking about in the next few minutes for our listeners here.
That's right. Me too. I'm excited to have you on. Appreciate you taking the time with us. I know you're busy, not only running all of your social media channels, but you're a top producing real estate agent, and you are you're at Real, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And just can you give us a little bit of a context to your background? Tell our listeners who you are a little bit.
Yeah, so I have been in the business. This will be my 11th year in real estate. But prior to that, I worked about 9 years in marketing and advertising before I even got into real estate. I loved everything that I did. I was traveling a lot. I worked with a lot of different companies and agencies out in LA. But it got to the point that I felt that I was being overworked and underpaid. I was living out of a suitcase just because of what my work entailed. And I said to myself, you know what? I don't see myself doing this forever. I had always seen real estate as a way for you to be able to achieve a lot of success. I knew it was not going to be easy or glamorous, but
Mm-hmm.
I had seen people be successful, and I took it like a challenge. And I said, if I could just replicate what they have done, I could be successful as well. So just, I think it was at the end of December 2014. That's when I decided to make my transition into real estate. And almost 11 years later, here we are.
Wow, that's amazing. So having that marketing background obviously helps out quite a bit in real estate, but you don't need to have those kinds of backgrounds. And real estate is a collection of people from so many different places, whether they come from sales, marketing, hospitality, that's a big one. Just so many different areas of work where they're like, you know what, I'm not fulfilled in my daily life. I want to get into something where I have freedom. We're going to talk about that in a minute, right? Freedom, and where I can go out and make as much money as I can. Now, while some of that is true, let's talk a little bit about what happens, the stumbling blocks, right? Somebody starts in real estate. what is it that real estate school or brokers, when they're doing the hiring for most part, aren't telling people when they're getting into it?
From my experience, I think one of the biggest things is that you're not really prepared for how to deal with people's emotions, whether it's on the phone or in person or even
Hmm.
yourself. The dealing with the rejection. In real estate school, they teach you
Yes.
all of the different things that, this is what escrow is and why you need an appraisal, but they don't talk about how to navigate through different scenarios and negotiations where people are being stubborn, where you as an agent want to go hide under a rock and you have no idea how things are going to work out. I mean, these are all things that as an agent, if you're not prepared mentally, you're going to want to give up very easily. So when I mentioned earlier that, this is not a glamorous career, it's not what you see on TV. A lot of the
No.
shows, you pick up the phone, you do the negotiation. Yeah, 4 million here. I'll get paid. They don't tell you many times of the deals that you're going to be the last second, maybe the last week you're about to close, your client gets arrested, and this happened to me, and then there goes your commission. So these are all things that you don't really hear that often about.
Oh man, I've had a house burned down literally right before the
Oh my
listing was about to hit. $5 million home. Oh, it burnt down. What? What? We're going live next week. Put it together. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the
Lloyd.
client that got arrested, it was a $2.4 million buyer.
Oh man. Even if it's a $200,000
Yeah.
trailer, when you're just starting out, it's like, you want to pull the hair out of your head, right? Like, cause like, I don't know how long it took you, but it took me 6 months to get my
Mhm.
first paycheck. And you and I are a lot alike, cause I
Yeah.
grind like crazy. And I know you do too. How many months did it take you to get paid your first time around?
Yeah, it was around that time. It was around the 6 month mark. I was calling every single day. Every single
Yeah.
day I was getting better, but I was being brand new and I'm like, how do I deal with these objections? I'm like writing them down. I had my scripts in front of me. When I started making phone calls, I sounded horrible. I mean, I posted my very first for sale by owner phone call on my YouTube channel for anyone to see. So you can
Love
really
it.
see it's not that easy, but yeah, talking to people, talking, hopefully setting appointments, it can take some time. There are some agents that get lucky and you get that client, yeah, come list my house, but it can also be mentally draining where you're putting in the work and nothing's happening. You're like, okay, my funds are going low. I'm making these payments. I got to pay my car, my rent, food. I need a paycheck. When's it going to
Yeah.
happen?
Oh, I know, right? So let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk about what your daily prospecting schedule looked like and looks like, but before that, I really want to talk about rejection. How do you mentally prepare yourself to deal with the rejection, the doors slammed in your face, people hanging up on you, friends and family telling you to get something better, get a real job? What are you doing to prepare yourself for that?
It's funny that you're mentioning like the family and friends to tell you not to get into this or get a real job, or why did you leave your real job and a steady paycheck for something like this? When I got into the business, really the only people that knew I got into real estate were my parents. I didn't
Hmm.
want to tell anyone. For some reason, I also knew a lot of people that didn't have this like good perception of realtors, probably because they
Yeah.
had been burned in the past. So I'm like, they probably think I'm sketchy or that I just want to make money. So that's why I just focus on making phone calls. When it came to rejection, initially as a newer agent, it was kind of difficult because I was not used to, calling someone and them cussing me off or like hanging up on me. But I had to work a lot on my mindset and knowing that I couldn't take this personally and I couldn't let other people's emotions affect me because
Hmm.
there was a specific reason why I got into this. Obviously, I didn't want to continue what I was doing where I was being overworked and underpaid. I knew that I had a skill that I brought to the table. And for me specifically, I wanted to be able to provide a better life for myself and my
Hmm.
family, both here and in our country in Central America. And I couldn't let this rejection hold me back. So it was a lot of mental work where it was like, okay, if someone is upset, if they reject me, I just have to move on to the next person. Um,
Yeah.
They don't know what I look like. They don't know where I live. Worst case scenario, I mess up what I'm saying. I just hang up and move on, or I just walk
Yeah.
away from the door and go on to the next person.
That's right. Or how about like, and I love what you said there. And I also love that you help support your family, in another country too. Talk about purpose, talk about drive, talk about motivation to continue going and just getting through the thick of it, the hard part of it. Have you ever thought about this? I'm sure you have, but maybe our listeners have or have not. People don't know who you are when you're calling because they get a million calls per day. There's nothing stopping you from calling them back in a couple days or a week because the follow-up truly does matter. And the sale happens on the 5th or 6th or 7th call or in person or whatever it is. So there's so much importance behind that because if you're persistent and consistent with follow-up and you're able to take the rejection and put it aside, you are going to be successful. And that in itself, I think, is going to build up your confidence. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that as agents or anyone in sales, if you're talking to people and they don't respond the way that we think
Yeah.
that the next time that we call them, they're going to remember everything we talked about. And we start playing these scenarios like, oh, I talked to Emilio. He probably hates me. He probably remembers I called him at 8:53 in the morning. And it's like, I tell agents, look, the moment that you hang up, that person, they're not thinking about you. We're not
Nope.
that special. They have moved on with whatever their day looks like. If you call them back, they're going to be like, who? And you
Yeah.
just get back into the conversation. I know for me also to be able to have that mindset and thick skin required for me to become very good with my communication and objection handling so that I
Yes.
could be also in control of conversations where if we hung up, whether someone hung up on me or I decided to, you know what, it doesn't make sense for us to work together. I didn't feel a sense of like, oh, this person hates me. And that's what really helped me too. And that's something that I tell every person, no matter what industry, if you have the skills to be able to communicate with your tonality, how you sound, what you're saying, and you deliver a message and you're seen as an authority, people are going to
Mm-hmm.
respect you, whether they want to work with you or not. And you
Amen.
just move on.
That's right. Amen. Amen. I love that stuff. If you're just tuning in right now, we are on the line with a very, very special person. Her name is Loida. That's it. That's Rhode Island. That's a Rhode Island thing. Loida Velasquez, and she is a real estate agent out in California as well as Florida. Top producing, is one of the biggest coaches out there on YouTube for real estate professionals. But I want to tell you, if you're in another industry or you own a business, sales is where it's at. Clearing objections is where it's at. Meeting people where they're at is where it's at. And you could get so much out of her channel. I've been following her for 10 years. And finally, we got to meet here, and she's on the podcast sharing some valuable insights. So turn up the dial and get a pen. You're going to want to take some notes because we're really going to dive into the thick of it right now with prospecting, which is so huge. All right, so Loida, what are your non-negotiable number of calls and conversions per week?
Well, I'll tell you the number of contacts. I always go after a minimum of 20 conversations every single day.
Every day.
Every day. Yes.
Networking conversations, prospecting, what?
Yes. Prospecting conversations.
Okay.
Since I focus a lot on the phones, it's on the phones. But if I do doors, it's a combination of both. But minimum talking to 20 new people every single day. Follow-ups I
Mm-hmm.
don't include as the 20 because we all know this is a numbers game. When
Mm-hmm.
I first started, I remember there was a day that I made it as a goal, and it's kind of crazy. I made it a goal to talk to 100 people in one day. I started at 8 o'clock.
It's
I think
huge.
the last person I talked to was around 8:45 p.m. and I ended up setting an appointment. And this was when I
Wow.
was maybe like a month, 2 months into the business. Um, and again, because I always heard, the more people you talk to, the closer you're going to get to that person that is looking to either buy or sell. So for me, it's having at least 20 new conversations every single day. And the goal is
Mm-hmm.
always at least one, if not two appointments. I think with the skill level that I have now compared to maybe a new agent, they might not have the same numbers, but it's at least one appointment a day that the goal is.
You know, I heard what you said there, 20 conversations. Now, for our listeners, don't get that mistaken for 20 calls, because you could call 20 people, get dial tone, get voicemails. That doesn't count. You got to put the rubber to the road, and you have to make those conversations happen. Let me ask you this. Out of 20 conversations, how many of those lead to business?
Out of those 20, probably about half.
Half.
And then some, they don't lead to something, but they go into my database. Out of those, yeah, some of them, they would just be like, you know what, lose my number. I'm not interested, or I already sold, or whatever it is. But as long as I'm able to talk to a decision maker and not like a kid or whoever that's not making a decision, I try to find out, first of all, if they have any plans in the future, if they're looking to do anything now, or if they might know of anyone that they can possibly refer. And then also, I focused a lot on expires and for sale by owners. So these are the lowest hanging fruit of type of leads that want to do something. So again, I think a lot of it also comes down to, once I have a conversation with them and talking to them, seeing if I personally can help them based on what they're looking to do. Because we can't help everyone. Someone might be very unrealistic about what they're looking to do or the price that they want. So a lot of it has been business that I just end up like turning away, or I end up canceling appointments because, hey, you know what, Emilio, at this point, it doesn't make sense for us to work together. You're better off just keeping your home. If you're looking for $1 million, it's really worth 300,000 or whatever it is. So it's stuff like that.
There's so much to unpack in what you're saying. You're extremely wise. I love the wisdom you're dropping here. And what I hear from being in the business for so long is I hear all the pieces, the connectors in between every single statement, the underlying principles of every single statement. And I want to relay this back to you, right, and to our listeners. Loida is not just sitting there checking the boxes, feeling good about herself, getting that Planet Fitness membership and never going in. Okay. She's literally saying, hey, if a little kid picks up the call, if I'm not talking with a decision maker, I need to keep dialing, because I'm going to hold myself accountable to getting the numbers I need to move this needle forward. Regardless if you're brand new or if you're 10 or 20 years into the business, this is the approach that top selling real estate agents and business people across the world take. And I love that. Accountability is absolutely everything. Would you say, Loida, that the agents, because 71% of real estate agents hadn't sold a home last year, when I look at that, I believe it's accountability. Would you say that there's any other factors in why they might not have made it?
Yeah, I think it's accountability, discipline. Maybe there's not a strong enough reason. Like, I like to ask agents whenever they're telling me, oh, I don't feel motivated, because that's very normal. I'm like, okay, well, why did you get into this business? What's so important for you to succeed in this business? Like, because if you're not motivated to pick up the phone or do what you're supposed to be doing that it takes to succeed, if you're not, then why are you even on here? Then this is a hobby. This is not your career. Go probably find something else. And listen, anyone that's listening, you might be like, oh, Loida, I'm a very straight shooter, because this business is not for everyone.
Correct.
You and I both know this.
Correct. And motivation it's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Feelings come and go. Happiness is a feeling. It comes, you can't chase that stuff, but discipline is really where it's at. Just continue on that road of consistency, and people trust consistency. And that's why people like you go out there and continually hit their numbers. Let's talk about expireds and withdrawals, okay? Because that's how I started in the business too, just banging on doors that weren't selling, calling people up that weren't selling. But I feel like the dynamics of expired listings and withdrawn terminated listings have changed a bit, because by the time they get withdrawn and you're calling them, they're already listed with another agent. So I'm curious to hear your secret sauce. How are you coaching your agents to go after expired and withdrawns today?
Yeah. So along with the phones is, going in person, going to the doors. There's less homeowners that are getting people actually reaching out at their doorstep and having conversations with them. So that's a big one.
Yep.
Another one that I love to do is that if I'm able to get the actual homeowner on the phone and have a conversation with them immediately, once we're done, I will send them a video text message.
Mm.
I'm very big when it comes to video because I think this is one of the ways that you'll be able to stand out versus all of the agents that are calling. And if someone can put a face to the name and you've had at least a decent conversation, that's how you start to stand out. I had a phone call where the gentleman, he was an expired. He told me, you know what, Loida, call me in about 2 months. Maybe I'll consider selling. I'm not really sure. And I kept asking, well, you know what? What's important about 2 months? Wouldn't you want it sold sooner? We kept
Yeah.
having a conversation. He said, no, you just call me in 2 months. We hung up. I took my phone and it's, you know, you don't have to overthink it. Just grab your cell phone, do a short 30-second video. Hey, Jim, this is Loida, the realtor. We just spoke, wanted to shoot you a video so that you can put a face to the name. I'm here to help when you're ready. Sent it to him. And about an hour later, he said, you know what, Loida, I'm actually going to be in town in 2 weeks. I'm out of town now. Give me a call then. So I
Hmm.
was following up. I kept reaching out. I reached out the following week. Hey, are you still on track to be back in town, next week? Long story short, ended up getting that listing, sent him the contract through DocuSign. Didn't end up meeting him until the day that we got the photographer and he gave me the keys to the property. But I think that's one of the biggest things. The video really helped me stand out, and that's something that a lot of agents are not doing still right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, what is that? People are so scared of it. Don't judge yourself, so can you give us some tips, right? On how somebody can get a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera and how they might be able to start influencing through their social media?
I think if someone is uncomfortable or maybe they're not used to recording themselves, it might just be as simple as you recording a video for yourself. You don't have to share it with anybody else, but just start getting used to seeing yourself. I hear it all the
Hmm.
time. Oh, but Loida, my voice sounds so cringe and I don't like looking at myself. Well, too bad. Get over it. Start practicing and start learning
Yeah.
to listen to yourself. What's funny is that when I started my YouTube channel back then, I remember being told that if you want to get better with video, watch your videos and see where you need to improve. And one
Mm.
of the things that I was getting comments where people were telling me, you're talking too fast and you're running out of breath. And I'm like, these people are calling me out.
You're
I need to get
Latina.
better so that I don't get that message in all those comments.
Yeah. You're a Latina. My fiance is a Latina. Like, you girls are like, boom, 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 boom. Like, you get it out there. It's part of the charm. Oh
Yeah.
man. So all right, so they told you that, but feedback is really great and constructive
Yeah.
feedback is awesome. Good or bad, whatever people tell me, I'm taking it and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can make an improvement. You got to let the ego go. And that's a
Yeah.
hard thing to do, right? All right, so you slowed down your pace a little bit, right?
Mhm.
You slowed down your pace a little bit. And what else did you do? What else did you tweak after watching your videos?
I learned to smile more because I was always like very serious and I sounded kind of
Mm,
monotone. So I worked on how I spoke and my delivery. And
yes.
I always had like, even up till this day, even if I'm walking in the street, I always have kind of like a permanent smile, even if it's just like a smirk. Because I think
Yeah.
when you're talking and if you're smiling and your eyes are smiling, I don't know, you just give off this sense of people might be like, oh, Loida seems like a really chill, like cool person that I would actually want to hang out with. And even when I'm making my phone calls, I have a mirror in front of me where I'm looking at myself just to make sure that I'm smiling as I'm making my phone calls so that I
Oh,
don't sound
slick.
monotone or like I just woke up.
That's a really good tip right there. And listen, if you're tuning in right now, there's so many takeaways in what Loida is saying. And I'm going to tell you, you got to follow this lady. You got to follow her on YouTube. Her name is Loida Velasquez. Velasquez. I'm sorry. Loida.
It's okay.
Loida Velasquez. See, like, you don't have to be perfect. I'm on radio
Yeah.
somehow. I mess up everyone's name, okay? and I even messed up my own somehow. But look,
Me
you
too.
got to get it out there. But just Google her, find her, subscribe to her, and I'm telling you, you're going to learn all sorts of information, and it's so helpful. Do you have a podcast, Loida?
I'm getting back into a podcast. I used to do one a lot years ago for newer
Mm-hmm.
agents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but this year that's one of my goals to get back on track. I will have to have you on it, Emilio.
I would love to go on it. I enjoy so much. And you know what? I love going on. I don't know. I'm sure you do this all the time, right? You go on panels or you go give
Yes.
discussions or keynotes. Like that is where it's at. And you know what? Kind of breaking out of your comfort zone and getting out there in all of those different environments is
Hmm.
so valuable, right? It's because you learn how to communicate so effectively, but that communication and becoming a top selling real estate agent or business owner really starts with your first prospecting calls and just staying consistent to it. So I want to hear from you. What are the top 3 communication mistakes that kill conversations?
The first one, I would say just talking too much.
Mm,
As an agent, sometimes we ask a question, and let's say I don't know, the homeowner answers, and then agents just start rambling. You just start talking and talking. Next thing you know, you don't let the other person speak. That would be
mm.
one.
Word
Uh,
vomit.
exactly. Yes. Another one I would say just like listening. Listening to what the other person is actually saying, because they might be telling you everything that you need to know. And then from
Hmm.
there, you have enough information to be able to formulate how you can help them or where to take the conversation or demonstrate your value as an agent or business owner as to how you can help them in whatever their need or their struggle or their concern is. So that would be
Mm,
the second one.
hmm.
And then the third one is just how someone speaks. It goes back to the tonality that I mentioned earlier. That can make a huge difference in the impact that you have when you're having a conversation with someone where they feel
Mm.
like, wow, that message really hit me. Or wow, Loida, she sounds really smart, but she sounds really boring too. So those would be the three things that come to mind.
You know, and so with number 2 there, right, where you're talking about listening, so just
Mhm.
listening just with just intent to
Yeah.
understand. And a suggestion, because I learned this over the years, right? I have ADHD like most people in sales, okay? I give all of our advisors here at my brokerage a red book, and I tell them just listen, just take notes, go
Mhm.
back to the questions after, don't interrupt people, because when you listen intently, people are going to respect that and appreciate you, and then you're going to be
Yeah.
able to, you're going to know how to frame your questions to what the level, like the style that they're going to that's going to be best received, right?
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
huge. I love that. And then number 3, say number 3 again. Do you remember what that was?
Knowing personalities. So knowing who
Oh,
you're talking to.
disc profile are you talking about? The
Yeah.
disc
Like
profile?
if you're speaking to an analytical, an expressive, amiable, a driver, just
Yes.
knowing the characteristics of each of those different personality types, whether it's in person or on the phone, you can easily kind of change or know how to speak to them so that they see
Mm.
you as an authority, as an expert versus just, you know what, this person's not at my level.
Here's what I want you to do. If you're listening to this show right now, I want you to go do a disc analysis, a disc profile on yourself. It's not a personality test, it's a behavior test. Learn your own communication style. Okay. And there's so many different varying programs out there, but I like disc. I know it. Have you ever taken your disc profile?
I have.
You have. Okay. Can I guess what you probably are?
Yes.
All right. You're an absolute high I. You're very like gregarious. You're like welcoming. You got that smile on your face, but you're a high D. You're a driver. You're somebody that like you're gonna get there and you're gonna push until you do, and you make quick decisions and you are concrete in your decisions and you are full of confidence. Did I get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Good.
And you know what's funny is that really quick, growing up, I was not like this. Never in a million years would you, like, if you went back to 10, 15 year ago, Loida, it's a completely
Yeah.
different person that I am now.
Well, you know what? Because we grow, we mature, and when I look back, right, like even 5 minutes ago, I'm like, what was I doing, right? Like, because we're always learning and growing, which is an amazing thing. Let's talk about long-term wealth. Okay, what habits create a durable career? Not only in real estate, but you're a sales specialist in sales in general. What habits create wealth for the long term in any kind of sales career?
I think always being responsible and savvy, first of all, with the money that you do have, the income
Hmm.
that you earn. I think nowadays, we can get so easily distracted with memberships and apps and things like that that you can sign up for that you don't need. Along
Hmm.
with that, having the vision of where you want to be in the next couple years or what you want to accomplish, and surrounding yourself with people that are at the level that you want to be at, or they have what you want to achieve. I know for me personally, I come from very humble beginnings. I'm an only child. My parents came to the US from Central America without, I, English is my second language. So there's so many
Wow.
things that I was never exposed to when I was little that, like I was mentioning, even 15 years ago, it's a completely different Loida than it is now. But it was a lot of reading and surrounding myself in groups and people that thought bigger than me. I would have never thought that I would be where I am now if you would have asked me back in high school or even in college, because I did
Hmm.
not picture myself being like how I am. And I think many times that's one of the things that stops us from growing, because we haven't been exposed to the opportunities that are out there. And I think when it
Mm.
comes to wealth, you can create your own opportunities, and the only thing and the only person that's going to stop you is you, if you just don't grow beyond what you already know.
That's absolutely right. Now, if you are in real estate, if you're a real estate agent and you're looking to level up, if you're looking to elevate, if you're looking to grow your wealth and grow a whole different perspective on this business, I strongly recommend the boot camp that Loida has put together. And she has I'm sure, other opportunities for you too. But Loida, can you talk a little bit about your program that you put together to coach agents?
Yeah. So my new in real estate boot camp, it's a program that I put together because I would always get agents asking me and telling me, you know what, Loida, how do I work with buyers and sellers? And you talk about communication. How can I get better at that? Unfortunately, there's a lot of agents out there that are doing this on their own and figuring things out. They don't have a lot of support. So really, my boot camp is over 5 hours of intensive training. I'm going to start doing these live again.
Love
So
it.
it's an hour a day with me where I break down pretty much everything, how I learned it. And it's like I'm sharing with you exactly the blueprint that you just need to
Mm.
replicate. So whoever it is, whether it's a new agent or someone that has been in the business for a long time, but they're still lost and confused as to how to succeed, this is a program that can help them no matter where they're located. I've always been very heavy when it comes to skills. That's the thing that
Mhm.
I focus on, because if you don't have the right skills, like, I can give you all the bells and whistles, but it's going to be tough for you to even implement it. But yeah.
That's right. That's right. You need a mentor. You got to sharpen your skills constantly. How do they find that program?
neoandrealestate.com. That would be the website. Or you could just reach out to me on Instagram. Loida Velas is my Instagram handle.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I'm curious for you, right? Because I feel like you're a big thinker. You got big goals. What does winning look like for you over the next 12 months, Loida?
Winning for me would be continuing to impact agents' lives, since that's what I've become very good at when it comes to training and teaching them success and skills related to real estate. Along with that, for me, my faith and my family is very big. Something that being
Mm.
in this business has allowed me to do is be able to give back. So, something that I'm very involved with And I thank God for the opportunities is that I help build churches in El Salvador, which is where my family is from. So I love to travel out there, give back to poor kids. So that's what really fulfills me as a
Amazing.
person. So there's the real estate side, but I think the bigger picture is continuing, for me to grow the kingdom. And that's just my faith. And that's something that, I always thank God for all of the opportunities. So it's a combination of both helping agents and helping the less fortunate.
Oh, I love that. That is absolutely amazing. You're such a great soul, Loida, and I'm so happy to have you on here on the Wealth Architect podcast. And I know that there's going to be a lot that you're going to do with your word and sharing God's word out there too. So God bless you in all of your efforts.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear that. And I'm excited to have a new friend here too, which is awesome. So, hey, if you were tuning in, if you're interested in learning more about Loida, she is easy to find online with almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which, by the way, is super hard to do. You have to have great content on YouTube, and people have to listen to that content for an extended period of time to even hit those kinds of numbers. So she's interesting. Her name is Loida Velasquez. I did it right, Velasquez, and you can go ahead and follow her on YouTube, Instagram, and anywhere else online. Good stuff, Loida. Thanks so much for being here with us in the Wealth Architect.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. When you're buying real estate, you need somebody that understands the ins and outs of the legal ends. It's so important to have the right attorney working for you. You also need a bulldog. Let me tell you something. The first time I sat in a conference room with this lady, Melissa Delana of Delana Law, I immediately knew she owned the room. You need an attorney that owns the room, that can solve problems and make things happen when everybody else can't. You want to hire Delana Law in Massachusetts, Connecticut, or Rhode Island. Delana Law delivers every single time. They're going to help you out with all of your real estate needs. It's delanalaw.com. You got to check them out. All right, Season 3, Episode 3, Segment B. We're here with somebody that I've known over the years, that I've gotten the luxury and benefit and happiness of getting to work side by side with this woman. And the reason why I wanted to take her on the show is because how many times do you hear about a friend, or maybe it's you, and you're like, oh, I'm stuck with this dead end corporate job, or maybe it's a good job, but I feel like I don't have the freedoms that I want in life. I feel like I'm not making the income I want to make. And I feel like my creative brain would be so much better doing something on my own. And this is why we have Jodie Neville, and she's coming in from Flagship Forbes, a real estate brokerage here in Rhode Island. And she's going to be talking today about from climbing the corporate ladder to becoming a real estate entrepreneur. Jodie, welcome to the Wealth Architect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is great.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to have you because, you're one of those people, you walk into a place and the room feels lighter.
Thank you.
Brighten up a room. And that's such
Likewise.
a great, thank you so much. And it's such a great quality to have. And I really wanted to dig down and talk with our listeners today, because there could be some people feeling like they're trapped, like they're in a dead end. And this show is all about bringing wealth, not only financially, but physically, mentally, and spiritually. So let's dig down. Let's talk about it.
You're speaking.
All right,
You're
cool.
speaking my truth. So I've been doing real estate for 10 years. Prior to that, I was at, a very large global toy company for 15 years, which always was my dream growing up. I thought I wanted to be in marketing. I wanted to build brands. This company is in Rhode Island. Am I allowed to talk about it?
Yeah.
It's Hasbro.
Yeah, Hasbro.
And I always knew I wanted to work there. And I got the job, and I was 22, and it was incredible I was there for 15 years. And it really was an exceptional experience. I got to meet Beyonce when I worked on the Destiny's Child fashion dolls. She's amazing, by the way.
That's cool.
She's wonderful. I got to launch My Little Pony. I have a pony named after me. Her name is Daisy Joe. She was the worst seller of the season, so you won't find her. But yeah, and I got to travel the world. They helped me get my MBA at Northeastern. So it was a great, great environment for me. And then I started having kids and growing my corporate career and getting promoted, which is all amazing, but also incredibly stressful. I take a lot of accountability in everything I do. So, growing a team, managing a team, and then the balance of making those tough decisions of, do I go to the kindergarten graduation or do I go to the management line review presentation? Oof. And it felt like a huge struggle for me personally.
What'd you do?
I agonized. For years, I would always agonize. And I'm sure I made the wrong decision many, many times.
Yeah.
But I learned from that.
Yeah, it shaped you.
I learned from that, absolutely. And learned that it doesn't have to be that hard. And this was at a time before COVID. So there really wasn't a ton of flexibility. There wasn't a lot of work from home. And I just remember feeling like a failure. I felt like I was a failure. I was a bad mom. I was a bad boss. I was a bad employee. I was a bad wife. I mean, I'm hard on myself.
That's okay.
But that's what makes me thrive.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me succeed, I think.
It brought you here.
It brought me here.
Right?
It brought me here.
You're telling this message to somebody right now that might just need this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never knew what being an entrepreneur was. I always had this safety net of, benefits and paid vacation time and days off. And so it was scary. It was incredibly scary to say, this doesn't feel right for me anymore. I want to be a part of my family's life. I love working. I need to work. I want to work. I want to provide for my family. But there's got to be a different way for me. So when I left my job at Hasbro, at the time I was managing family board games globally, which was about an $800 million business.
Wow.
And I had a great team and it was amazing. And one of those brands was Monopoly. And so
one of my favorite games.
The CEO at the time, who I was very, very close with, who has since passed, he was an amazing, amazing leader, Brian Goldner. When I told him that I was ready to step away and go into real estate, because, at the end of the day, Monopoly is about real estate.
Yes.
So this makes total sense that I would make this move.
100%.
He laughed so hard.
Perfect.
Told me I was full of shit, but he knew I would be successful and he supported me. And so I think it's just about understanding your intuition.
Yeah.
And saying, this is just doesn't feel right anymore for me.
Let's talk about that transition, because that's usually where the wheels fall off for people. They get scared. They're like,
of course.
And you know what? And before that, I want to let our listeners know, she said a word, I think twice, and that word was accountability. And everything you were talking about leads up and led up to how accountable of a person I know you for, Jodie. And that makes a lot of sense. So look, if you don't have accountability and you want to jump into being self-employed, whatever field it is, you better get on that accountability train. You better learn.
Yep.
Let's talk about that transition, Jodie. You went from corporate, you had a cushy job, making 6 figures, all the benefits in the world. And then you came home and told your husband, like, hey, I quit. Like, I'm jumping into real estate. Can we talk
Well, I would say it was a team. It was a team effort. My husband supported me. Thankfully,
that's huge.
We were in a position where he still does have a great job. So there was comfort in that. But it essentially was demolishing our income by half of what we made until I knew the potential, until I knew what this could be.
That pain provides.
It does.
Yes.
It inspires. It motivates me. Like I was not going to let my family down.
No,
I wasn't, or myself. I knew I had to succeed. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, but that's literally, I think, what makes us tick.
Those are your cross to bear,
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about that, right? So you jumped into real estate. How many months did it take you to close your first deal?
Well, the first month I was panic stricken. I was
Why?
because I was like, oh my gosh,
Out of your comfort
what did I
zone.
do? What did I do? I've put my family in harm's way.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't know what I'm doing.
And we
I
all
don't
have
even
that
like,
self-doubt.
I don't even like houses.
Yeah.
Like,
You love houses.
no, I still don't.
Really?
I really don't. No, and I tell my clients that. I tell them when I go to listing appointments, I'm like, look, of course I can sell this for you. Of course I can. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you need.
You're too funny.
And it matters what success looks like for you.
Yeah.
So I
Good
don't,
point.
I mean, dental molding and what, I don't care. I care about people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. All right. So
to answer your question, I think it was 4 months before I got a paycheck.
Wow, 4 months. Okay, that's quicker than most.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 4 months till you got your first paycheck. How many years or months did it take for you to build up a reputation in the marketplace?
It's a great question.
And how did you do it?
I really focused on just being my authentic self and digging into the community that was around me naturally. So I made sure everyone knew Jodie from Roadie. That was going to be my brand. That I'm doing real estate now and I'm here to help. And I was not humble about it. I asked for help. I asked everyone that I knew, do you know anyone? Is there anyone I can help? So I think it was blasting it out there that this change had happened. And it ended up, I'm so grateful that it ended up inspiring other people to leave corporate.
Wow.
And go into real estate.
Isn't that great?
It's really, really cool. In fact, the person we were just talking to.
Yeah, Diane Landry.
Yeah.
She did the same. Yeah.
So.
She's probably inspired by you.
We didn't even know each other. But I would say I really invested. I dug deep into my local community.
Yep.
And I did that through my kids. It was a really natural, easy thing to do.
Nice.
So I have twins.
Yep.
And they are now 19. So they were 9 when I left the big job. And I just got really involved. I got really involved with the school. I got really involved with the town. I got really involved with my church. I got really involved with the sports, with youth sports. And that has just kind of been a very natural way for me to grow.
Networking, just networking.
100 million%.
If you look at the top producing, top 1% real estate agents and advisors all over the world, I'm telling you, that is the key. Accountability and networking. It's absolutely everything. I was at this summit. It was like 2 years ago. It's called Private Office. We have that at E&V. And I'm sitting there with people that just kill it, right? All over the world. A guy that was doing 100 million in sales, a guy 150 million, we're sitting there at this table. There's 8 of us. And I looked around and I said, hey guys, I want to ask you all a question. Where do you get all your business? Network. Where do you get all your business? Sphere of influence. Where do you get all your business? Network. Sphere of. They all said the same thing, and it's not from Zillow.
No.
It's not from open houses. It's from, and by the way, those things work.
Sure.
But it's from networking. It's from doing what you're doing. How did you have the intuition to do that?
I tried the Zillow thing and did that. It was not right for me. It just was not who I am. It felt really unnatural. It
No
felt
relationship
fake.
being there.
It's all about relationship.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. And what's really cool is that now I have repeats, because it's been 10 years.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm selling houses of families, clients that I help them get into. And then the referrals, that just is more natural to me because it's based on your reputation. And I don't have to sell you on me being a great agent and a good person.
There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
You get a referral in and not to be cliche, but that's the biggest compliment you could give an agent, right?
1,000,000%. Absolutely.
It is. And one of the things I've learned over the years was we got to stay in front of our clientele because our clientele, they've already hired us. They already know the outcome and they're happy to refer. And I think it's the statistics 75% of people do not use the same agent that they bought a home with to sell their home when it's time. And it's not because they don't want to or that they don't like the agent.
They're not top of mind.
They're not top of mind. And I think about my career, right? 14 years in, I'm like, how many times was I maybe not top of mind? So now it becomes, you know what? I only want to deal with people I like, and that's my clients.
Yep.
Like I won't take a client on, and I'm curious. I want to ask you this. I won't take a client on that I don't like. I won't take a client on that doesn't trust me in everything I'm doing as far as pricing, marketing, and preparing their home for sale. If they're not taking the advice, that's no problem. I wish you the best, but we're not going to be able to work together. And people's eyes are like, what? A realtor that says that you can't take the, like, you know? So do you ever tell people, no, you don't want their business?
I will say I am trying to get better at this. I've learned a lot in the 10 years, 200 deals I've done. That's
a lot of business.
Yeah, it's a lot that you can tell. Like I'm super intuitive and I'm an empath. So I can feel.
Same.
You know, like I can read a room the second I get in there. And I'm now feeling the confidence and the track record to say, because I know I invest so much energy and commitment into my clients who become friends and family to me. So yeah, I had a couple of doozies that really taught me.
We all have.
Yeah. But then I've also, for the most part, had incredible experiences.
Yeah.
Last weekend, we closed on a house for clients that I was referred, moving here from Florida. And it was 6 degrees, right? But the kids came for the first time to see their new house.
Oh,
They had never
that.
seen it. They're coming from Florida. They don't know snow.
Yeah.
And I had arranged to have a bunch of contractors come in and meet with my clients to talk about renovations. And I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to go play with the kids. It's going to be great. You do your thing. So I spent like 3 hours out in the snow with them, building snowmen, like just playing, you know. And my client actually filmed me without me knowing and saying, I want her to put this on our website because this is a testament.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it's natural.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
Yes.
And that you can be yourself and be authentic and still be successful. That's how I feel.
It's a people business.
100%.
And like, you know, we hear all these things like, oh, disruption is coming with AI, this and that. Look, at the end of the day, there is no substitute for personal experience, personal relationships. Like shaking someone's hand, you know, there's so much with that, and people are naturally people.
Yeah.
Does that even make sense?
It
People are
100%
people,
does, yeah.
right?
People
So
are
like,
people.
yeah, they are. And it sounds even better when you say it. You get that little Jodie flair on there.
People are people.
But you know, like people, like they just want to be surrounded by people. You want to kill someone, isolate them.
Yeah. That's like my worst nightmare.
So that says it all. Like people die of loneliness,
Yeah.
you know, and if you're lonely out there, you know, and by the way, this is something that I pray about often for people. Like I pray that people that are lonely can find, you know, somebody to connect with, a friend, somebody, you know, at church or at a local place or even at the hospital, wherever you're at. If you're lonely, God bless you. We're praying for you. But I had that on my heart. I wanted to say.
Thank you.
But yeah, you're welcome. I don't know where I was going with this conversation.
Okay. That's the way we roll.
But maybe somebody needed to hear that.
We are here.
And and at the end of the day, Jodie, you're just doing such a fantastic job, and your authenticity really shines through. Not only meeting you in person when we met 5 years ago at a deal that we did, and through the years, but also in your marketing as well. So you're doing a fantastic job. We wanted to highlight you here on The Wealth Architect and give some inspiration to people that may need it most. So if you want to reach out and connect with Jodie, you can do so. You can follow us on Instagram at Wealth Architect Podcast. She's going to be on there as well. You can go ahead and click her display, or feel free if you want to throw your number out there. Go ahead.
Phone number?
Yeah, why not?
Right, yeah.
Unless you don't give that out.
No, but you have to follow me because I do these fun videos.
Do that instead.
Peekaboo
Follow her
videos.
there.
So with my listings, I play a game of peekaboo throughout the listings. So people, you know, it's a way of showing the house, but it's... And I didn't come up with that idea myself. You can steal shamelessly from other successful people.
Right.
This was an agent in Maryland who had this idea, and my clients told me about it. So fun. Just be real.
What's your Instagram handle?
Jodie Fromrody.
Jodie?
JodieFromrhody. And my phone number is 401-338-7031.
Awesome. Jodie from Rhodey. How do you not remember that? That's awesome. Jodie, you killed it. Great job. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
What an honor.
And if you missed earlier on in the show, you're going to want to find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, YouTube, anywhere. And you're going to want to tune in as well to Loida Velasquez, to her segment. She is also a superstar and she crushes it in the real estate world, but is somebody where you can get practical, amazing information on real estate sales or just elevating your business in general, right? So if usually there's a problem with the business, it's a problem with sales, you got to get on that. You got to prospect. You're going to learn a lot there. We're going to be back here next week on the Wealth Architect podcast. My name is Emilio Despirito. Hey, I got my name right. That's good at least. God bless you. We hope you have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.